The officer's
Step away
voice
from the
cut
car.
across the valet
I have the
lane like a
keys.
Hands
siren.
where I can see them. Sir, she
Step
had the
away
ticket.
from the car.
Back up. Is
A
she stealing it?
19-year-old
Check the
black
record.
girl
I can
froze
show you the
beside the
ticket.
yellow
Don't move.
supercar.
The keys were handed
her
to
hands
me.
open. Her
Why is she
college
near that
ID
car?
trembling
Wait, I
against her
scanned it.
lanyard.
Please check before this gets
People
worse.
watched.
Put the keys on the
Phones
hood.
They're
lifted.
already in my hand because
No
the
one
valet
asked
gave them
why
to
the
me.
keys
Keep this
were
simple.
already
Sergeant,
in her
the log
hand.
has her ticket number. I
Was
said
she a
back up.
thief
Call
because
the
of what she
foundation coordinator.
drove?
Keys on
Or
the hood.
because of what they
ID
thought
too.
she could
My
never
ID
own?
proves who I am.
It
Why
proves
did
what
one
name
quiet
you're. Lower your
phone
voice.
call
It isn't
make the
raised.
sergeant's
Please, just check the
face
log.
change?
Do not interfere. Don't make
And
this
who
harder.
was the man
I'm
in
asking you to
uniform
verify what
walking
I
toward
said.
them
You're
as if
asking
the
for
whole
special
street
treatment.
had
No,
just
I'm
become a
asking you to
courtroom?
check.
Why won't they read
What
it?
happened
Keep filming.
next
I
would
know that
follow that
family.
department
Mom,
for
don't.
years.
The ticket number is right there. Return
Keys
inside,
on the
ma'am.
hood.
Did she really steal
Officer
it?
Evan
The answer is
Cole
on that
said.
screen.
Enough. Turn
The
around.
yellow car ticked behind
still haven't
Maya
checked.
Whitaker,
We'll continue this at the
cooling under
station.
the hotel's
Sergeant,
white
please.
canopy
Who is that coming in?
lights.
Everyone stay back.
Answer the phone.
Music from the charity ballroom slipped through the glass doors, then vanished when they shut. Her plastic college ID tapped against her chest on a blue lanyard, trembling so hard her photo blurred. "I can show you the ticket," Maya said. "It's right here. I didn't ask for a story." Near the entrance, a man raised his phone. At the valet stand, Jaden Price, 21, swallowed inside a red jacket too wide for him. "She had the ticket," he said. "I gave her the keys." Cole turned. "Step back." Maya placed the keys on the hood. The metal felt cold under her palm. "My name is Maya Whitaker. I'm here for the Harbor Veterans Foundation event. Elaine Brooks can confirm it." Cole looked at her bag, sneakers, and lab notebook. "You expect me to believe you came from some campus lecture and picked up a car like this?" "I expect you to check." The phones rose higher. Sergeant Brent Harlan arrived with coffee and a crooked radio clip. He was broad, gray-mustached, and tired. "What's the situation?" "Possible stolen vehicle," Cole said. "She claims charity access." "I'm not she. I'm Maya." Harlan looked at the phones first. "Then help us keep this simple." "It is simple. Call Elaine." Cole held out his hand. "Phone." "For the number?" "For evidence." "I was trying to reach my father." "He can wait." The ballroom doors opened. Warm air rolled out with perfume and roasted garlic. Someone inside laughed, saw the scene, and stopped. Her ID beat once against her sternum, then again. Mrs. Helen Albright, an older guest with a silver shawl and a cane, stepped forward. "Sergeant, I believe the Whitaker family is connected to tonight's—" Her son caught her elbow. "Mom, don't." Harlan lifted one hand. "Ma'am, please return inside." Cole took Maya's phone. The screen lit before his thumb covered it. "Dad, missed call." Then the glass went black. "Hands visible," he said. "They are visible. Don't make this harder. I'm asking you to verify what I said. You're asking for special treatment." The phrase moved through the crowd like a shove. Jaden looked down at the valet log, then back at Maya. "Officer," he said, voice thin. "The log has her ticket number." "Do not interfere," Harlan said. Cole spoke into his radio. Static cracked. Beyond the hotel, a gull cried. The answer came after a pause. "Plate returns to a private holding company. No stolen report." Jaden exhaled. Harlan did not. "That doesn't clear possession." Maya turned to him. "What would?" "A lawful explanation. I gave you one." "A believable one." No one moved. The canopy lights hummed. Maya's lanyard had caught on her zipper, and every breath made the badge jump against her chest. Cole stepped closer. "Turn around." Jaden's voice broke. "Sergeant, check the log first. Please." Harlan looked at the phones, the car, the hotel doors filling with faces. Then he nodded to Cole. "We'll continue this at the station." Maya lowered her eyes, not to the cuffs, but to the little rectangle of plastic with her name on it, shaking under the light while everyone pretended it had not been there all along. At 6:42 a.m., The kettle clicked off before Maya Whitaker found the photograph. It had slipped between her thermodynamics notebook and a blue folder stamped Harbor Veterans Foundation. In it, her father stood in dress uniform, younger and straighter, one hand on her 8-year-old shoulder. Maya had a missing tooth. General Marcus Whitaker had the smile strangers never got. "You packed the folder?" her mother called. "Twice," Maya said. Denise Whitaker came in wearing navy scrubs. The kitchen smelled of toast, tea, and floor cleaner. "Your father will ask." "He already asked at 5:30. "Then he'll ask again." Maya slid the photograph into the inside pocket of her canvas bag. Its worn edge scratched her thumb. Her phone buzzed. "Dad, car will be at the hotel after donor photos. Take the valet ticket from Elaine. Do not rush." Another bubble appeared. "Dad. And eat something." Denise glanced at the toast. "He has daughters who forget breakfast." Maya used Marcus's low voice. "I have one daughter. She thinks coffee is a meal." Denise laughed, then smoothed Maya's jacket collar. "Tonight isn't about the car." "I know. People may act like it is. Because it's loud and yellow? Because people like easy stories." Denise picked a crumb from Maya's sleeve. "Let them be wrong quietly." At 8:10, Maya crossed the engineering quad under pale October light. Damp leaves stuck to the brick path. Trevor Banks, a classmate with a red backpack, nodded at the folder. "Big scholarship thing?" "Family event." "With the general?" "With veterans." "Your dad really was 4-star?" "He still answers to Dad." Trevor's eyes moved over her canvas bag and sneakers. "You don't look connected." A bicycle bell rang. Maya stepped aside. "I'm late for lab." In the materials lab, cold air raised bumps on her arms. Professor Annika Shaw, 52, copper glasses low on her nose, watched Maya's model bridge hold 30 pounds. "Quiet work," Shaw said. "Strong work." "Thank you." "You're leaving early?" "Foundation event." "I have to pick up a car from the hotel." Professor Shaw opened Maya's folder and pointed to a release. "Take this before you get there." "You think I'll need it?" "I think you shouldn't have to." Shaw slid the paper forward. "That is different." By 4:35 p.m., Maya changed in a restroom, folding her lab coat into her backpack and wiping graphite from her fingers. One gray line stayed under her nail. The hand dryer roared as her phone buzzed. "Dad, closed meeting starts at 6. Elaine has your ticket. Call if anything feels off." Maya waited until the dryer stopped. "It's just a car pickup, Dad," she wrote. 3 dots appeared, vanished, appeared again. "Dad, nothing is just anything when people decide before they know." Maya took out the photograph. The corner had bent. She pressed it flat against the sink ledge and tucked it behind her notebook. At 5:58, she stepped off the city bus 2 blocks from the Harbor Grand Hotel. Salt air came sharp from the river. Under the white canopy, the yellow car flashed. Maya checked the folder: release, valet instructions, ID, and phone. Everything was there. She walked toward the valet lane while the old photograph shifted against the blue folder inside her bag. At 6:07 p.m., the Harbor Grand's glass doors breathed warm air each time guests entered. Maya stood beside the valet line with her canvas bag against her hip, smelling river salt, engine heat, and pastry sugar. A young valet hurried from the booth. His tag read Jaden Price, and his red sleeves swallowed half his hands. "You're Ms. Whitaker?" "Maya." He checked the yellow ticket. "Ms. Brooks said you'd come after the donor photos. I've got the keys, but everything has to be logged twice." "That's fine." A scanner beeped. Jaden wrote her name and slid the key fob across the counter. Beside it, A wet ring from someone's glass darkened the ledger, creeping toward a ticket left behind. Maya lifted it. "This one's not mine." "Thanks." Jaden took it quickly. "People leave things everywhere during events." "Busy night?" "Busy people." He smiled, then lost it when a tall man in a black suit came from the lobby. Lyle Pierce had silver hair combed flat and a radio clipped high on his shoulder. "Jaden, why is she at the VIP stand?" "She has the foundation ticket." Maya held up the folder. "Elaine Brooks asked me to pick up the car." Lyle looked at the folder without taking it. His eyes moved to her sneakers, backpack strap, gray smudge under one fingernail. "The public entrance is around the side. I'm not entering the ballroom. This area is restricted. For the car I'm collecting." A couple slowed near the doors. The man whistled at the car, then saw Maya and lowered his voice. Lyle turned to Jaden. "Keep her away until I confirm." "You can call Elaine," Maya said. "I don't need instruction. I'm giving you a name." Behind the lobby bar, Nina Ortiz watched while wiping a tumbler. She was 30, compact, with a purple streak hidden in dark pinned hair. The glass squeaked under her towel. Mrs. Helen Albright came slowly from the ballroom on a cane, silver shawl over her shoulders. She paused at Maya's badge. "Whitaker," she said. "Are you Marcus's girl?" "Yes, ma'am." Helen's face changed, but a younger man stepped beside her. "Mother, the auction chair is looking for you." "I know that family." Lyle smiled with his mouth only. "Mrs. Albright, we're handling a minor access issue." "It doesn't look minor." The son's grip tightened. "Mom, not here." Maya felt the key fob warm inside her palm. "I can wait while you call Ms. Brooks." Lyle pressed his radio. "Security to front. Need officer at valet. Possible unauthorized access to a donor vehicle." Jaden's head snapped up. "Mr. Pierce, she scanned valid." "Did I ask you?" "No, sir." Maya placed the folder on the counter, keeping it dry from the ring. The paper edge stuck, then lifted with a soft peel. Nina came out from the bar doorway. "Lyle, Elaine's in the East Hall. I can get her." "Return to your station. It would take 30 seconds. It will take less for someone trained." The lobby quieted. Server. Guests. Jaden's tapping pen. Maya heard wind push against the flags outside. She opened her phone and found Elaine's contact. Lyle looked at the bright screen. "Don't start making calls." Maya met his eyes. "Then you make one." Red and blue light washed across the hotel glass before anyone heard the patrol car turn into the drive. The patrol car rolled in with no siren, tires hissing over damp gravel. Officer Evan Cole stepped out, sunglasses hooked to his shirt. Lyle Pierce met him by the valet booth. "Officer, thank you. She's refusing to leave a restricted area." Maya held the folder against her ribs. "I'm waiting for confirmation." Cole looked at the car, then at her sneakers. "Is this your vehicle?" "It's held for the foundation. I was sent to collect it." "That wasn't my question." Jaden leaned from the booth. "She has the ticket, sir. I scanned it." Maya opened the folder. "This is the release. Elaine Brooks is inside. My ID is clipped right here." Cole did not take it. "Put keys on the hood." "They were handed to me." "Keys. Hood. Now." Music spilled through the glass doors, then stopped when they shut. Maya laid the fob on the hood. Metal was cold enough to sting. "ID too," Cole said. "My ID proves who I am. It proves what name you're using." Jaden's pen fell and clicked on pavement. No one picked it up. Maya unclipped the plastic badge. It trembled against her fingers, her campus photo pale under the canopy lights. Guests raised phones. "Please don't record me," she said. One woman lowered hers. A man beside her did not. Sergeant Brent Harlan arrived at 6:16 with a paper coffee cup. He looked at the crowd first. "What do we have?" "Possible stolen vehicle," Cole said. "I gave him the release," Maya said. "Unauthenticated paper," Cole answered. Harlan turned to Lyle. "You called?" "Yes. She was lingering around a donor car." "I wasn't lingering." Maya faced Harlan. "Call Elaine Brooks. She's inside." Harlan glanced at the phones. "Ms. Whitaker, if that is your name, lower your voice." It had not been raised. Cole held out his hand. "Phone? For what?" "For safekeeping." "I need to call my father." "You can call him later." Maya's thumb hovered over Marcus's contact. Harlan saw it. "Don't make us repeat instructions." The air smelled of gasoline and wet stone. Maya gave Cole the phone. It buzzed once in his hand. "Dad." Cole turned the screen down. Jaden spoke again. "Sergeant, the log has her ticket number." Harlan's jaw moved. "If I need your statement, I'll ask." Jaden's sleeve brushed the damp ring on the ledger. Ink bled at the edge of Maya's name. Cole called in the plate. Static cracked. "Registration returns to Harbor Asset Group," the dispatcher said. "No stolen vehicle flag." "See?" Jaden whispered. Cole turned back. "That doesn't establish lawful possession." Maya held out the release again. "Then establish it." For the first time, Harlan looked at the paper. He did not take it. His eyes moved to the doors, filling with faces. "Ms. Whitaker, hands on the hood." "They are visible." "On the hood." Maya placed both hands beside the keys, and ID cold metal pressed into her palms. A camera flash popped behind her. Mrs. Albright whispered, "This is not right." Cole stepped behind Maya. "For our safety, you're being detained pending verification." "You haven't verified anything." "Exactly." The trumpet inside started again, cheerful and distant. Maya stared at her name on the plastic badge, lying flat on the yellow hood, while strangers filmed it as if it were evidence against her. Jaden saw the ink spread before he understood his hand was shaking. The damp ring on the valet ledger reached Maya Whitaker's name. Blue letters feathered at the edges. He pulled the book back, but his sleeve dragged across the page, smearing part of the ticket number. "Careful," Nina Ortiz said, twisting a bar towel in the lobby door. "I can't touch anything," Jaden whispered. "Mr. Pierce said stay out of it." Nina looked past him. Maya still had her palms on the hood. Officer Cole stood near her shoulder. Sergeant Harlan watched the phones instead of the papers. "You already are in it," Nina said. A laugh came from two guests near the columns. "Maybe she found the keys." Maya did not turn. Her blue lanyard lay crooked on the yellow hood, the college ID face-up beside the key fob. Under the canopy light, the plastic trembled each time the engine fan ticked. Mrs. Helen Albright stepped from the door. Her cane tapped the stone. "Sergeant," she called, "that young woman's father served this state for years." Thomas Albright moved between her and the lane. "Mother, please." It became a police matter because no one made a phone call. Harlan raised a hand. "Ma'am, return inside." Helen's fingers tightened around the cane handle. Thomas guided her back 2 steps. Nina watched it happen. "They make speaking up feel like the problem." Cole's voice lifted. "Ms. Whitaker, step back from the vehicle." "I thought you wanted my hands on it," Maya said. "Now step back." "May I take my ID?" "No." "My folder?" "No." The word landed flat. The glass doors opened and let out perfume, music, then shut it away. Jaden looked at the booth monitor. The system showed the transaction. Ticket 418, released to Emsa Whitaker, authorized by E. Brooks, 6:08 p.m. A camera icon blinked beside it. He pulled out his phone. Nina's eyes narrowed. Jaden, I'm saving the screen. If Lyle sees, what if they erase it? Nina stepped closer, blocking him. Fast! His thumb hovered over the button. The camera blurred, sharpened, blurred again. Voices pressed around him. Don't move, Cole said. I'm not moving, Maya answered. Then stop reaching. My hands are empty. Jaden's thumb would not drop. He thought of rent due Friday, his sister's bus pass, Lyle saying replaceable. Sweat gathered under his collar. Nina whispered, Save it. He tapped. The click sounded tiny, but to him it cracked like glass. Lyle Pierce turned. Jaden, what are you doing? Checking the system. Step away from that booth. Nina picked up a tray and let 2 empty glasses clink loudly. Sorry. My fault. Lyle glared, then looked back to the officers. At the curb, Cole took Maya's elbow. Please don't pull me, she said. I said step back. I heard you. A few guests lowered their phones. Mrs. Albright stared at Maya's ID lying beside the keys. Thomas looked away. Under the counter, Jaden opened his gallery. The image was there. Ticket number, timestamp, authorization, her name before the water could blur it. He sent it to himself, then to a blank message. Outside, Maya's folder shifted in the breeze. One page lifted from the hood and folded over, hiding the signature line that would have cleared her before the first camera rose. At 6:23 p.m., Officer Cole slipped Maya's phone into his pocket. The screen had gone dark after the missed call from her father, but she knew the vibration would come again. She could almost feel it without touching the device. I need one call, Maya said. You've already made your request, Cole replied. I haven't made a call. You've made enough conversation. Sergeant Harlan looked toward the hotel entrance instead of at her. More guests had gathered beneath the canopy. Some whispered. Others kept recording. Let's finish this before it gets louder, he muttered. It became loud because nobody checked the paperwork. Maya answered. Neither officer replied. A cool wind rolled in from the river, carrying the smell of wet concrete and salt water. The edge of Maya's jacket fluttered against the yellow hood. Her empty hands remained exactly where Cole had ordered. Inside the ballroom, applause erupted for an auction winner. Outside, nobody clapped. Cole pulled Maya's phone halfway from his pocket. Passcode? No. You're making this difficult. I'm protecting my privacy. You're preventing verification. My verification is in the folder you won't read. For a second, Cole stared at her. Then he pushed the phone back into his pocket. Across the valet booth, Jaden watched every movement while pretending to organize key tags. Nina stood beside the bar entrance with folded arms, saying nothing. Mrs. Helen Albright leaned toward Thomas again. Call Marcus. No, Mother. Then call Elaine. Thomas lowered his eyes. If I interfere now, he whispered, everyone will remember it. Helen answered quietly. They'll remember this either way. Jaden looked at the security monitor again. The release entry still remained. Ticket 418. Authorized. Timestamp unchanged. He swallowed. What if they delete it? He whispered. Nina didn't answer immediately. Instead, she reached for a clean towel, folded it once, then looked directly at him. Email it. Jaden blinked. What? The screenshot. They'll know. Only if you wait too long. His fingers hovered above the screen. He attached the image, stopped, removed it, attached it again. His heartbeat seemed louder than the ballroom music. Outside, Cole spoke into his shoulder radio. Need transport on standby. The words froze several people in place. Maya closed her eyes for one slow breath. When she opened them again, she spoke calmly. "Officer, before you request transport, please read the release." "No." "Please call Elaine Brooks." "No." "Please let me answer my father." "No." Every answer arrived faster than the last. Each one landed like another door closing. Even the guests nearest the entrance stopped whispering. One young woman quietly lowered her phone. An older man beside her continued filming. Lyle Pierce folded his arms. She had every opportunity to explain herself. Maya turned toward him. "I've done nothing except explain." His eyes shifted away first. The phone vibrated again inside Cole's pocket. Long, steady, impossible to ignore. Cole frowned. Another vibration followed almost immediately. Then another. He pulled the phone out. The screen lit across his face. Incoming call. "Dad." He pressed decline. Before the screen went dark, another call appeared. Different number. Unknown. He declined that one too. Harlan finally looked at him. "Busy family." Cole shrugged. "People panic." The phone vibrated again. Then again. Then again. This time, Harlan noticed something different. The incoming calls were arriving one after another without stopping. Not from the same number. From several different numbers. He looked toward Maya. She had not moved. She had not spoken. She had only watched the phone in Cole's hand. For the first time since arriving, uncertainty crossed Harlan's face. Behind him, the revolving hotel door spun once more. Someone in a dark military dress uniform had just stepped inside the lobby. The back seat smelled of vinyl, rain dust, and old coffee. Maya sat with her wrists in front because Cole said it looked better on camera. The cuffs were not tight, but the left edge pressed a hot line above her pulse each time the car turned. Harbor Falls slid by. A pharmacy, a bus stop, river lights. "My folder is still on the hood," she said. "It'll be collected," Cole said. "By whom?" No answer. At 6:41 p.m., they brought her through a side entrance of the Harbor Falls police station. Fluorescent light flattened every face. A printer whined behind a half-open door. Officer Dana Mills met them near intake. She was 38, black, with close-cropped hair, tired eyes, and a silver watch she kept checking. "Property dispute?" she asked. "Vehicle possession," Cole said. Mills glanced at Maya's lanyard in his hand. "She's booked?" "Detained pending verification." Maya said, "The verification is at the hotel." Mills looked at Cole. "Where's the paperwork?" "Scene is secured." "So no paperwork." Harlan entered behind them. "Waiting room. We're keeping this brief." "Brief for who?" Maya asked. Harlan's cup stopped halfway to his mouth. "Sit down before this becomes something else." It already became something else. They uncuffed her beside a metal bench. The release of pressure made her wrists sting worse. A mark circled the left one. "Bag stays here," Cole said. "My photograph is in it." "Your bag stays here." Mills pulled a property tub from a shelf. "I'll put your name on the seal." Cole laughed. "She's worried about a bag when there's a supercar outside." Maya turned to him. "I'm worried about the only thing here that belongs to me." The old photo had slipped from the bag and showed one corner. A child's hand, a dark blue sleeve, gold trim. Maya reached toward it. "Please." Mills handed it to her. Cole frowned. "Property." "It's a paper photo," Mills said. Maya held it with both hands. The edge was bent. She smoothed it with her thumb until the cuff mark on her wrist brightened. Her father's younger face looked back from a day when uniforms meant safety. Behind the glass, a male voice joked, "Maybe I should stand by valet tonight." Might get a free sports car. Someone chuckled. A drawer slammed. Maya folded the photo once by accident, then opened it quickly. Her breath caught, not loud enough for anyone to call it a scene. Mills heard it anyway. "Sit in here," she said, opening a small waiting room. "Door stays open." Cole objected. "Dana." "She's not booked." Harlan checked cameras and the clock. 10 minutes. Maya sat in the plastic chair. Cold came up through the floor into her shoes. Cole and Harlan moved down the hall. Mills placed the sealed tub on the desk outside. Whittaker, Maya. Then Mills leaned closer. "Is there someone besides your father who can confirm the foundation?" "Elaine Brooks." "Number?" "In my phone." Mills looked toward the hall where Cole had gone. The bulb above them flickered once, then steadied. Down the hall, Cole's voice rose. "Sergeant, we still don't have an answer on who this girl really is." Maya pressed the photograph flat against her knee, and Mills looked at the report folder as if something inside it might already be wrong. The report folder made a dry scraping sound when Mills opened it. Maya sat across from the metal desk, the old photograph flat on her knee. Cole stood close enough to narrow the hall. Harlan placed one form before her and clicked a pen. "This is not an admission," he said. "It states the hotel contact was a misunderstanding." Maya read the first line twice. The room smelled of toner, coffee, and rain trapped in uniforms. "It says I failed to provide satisfactory proof of lawful possession." Administrative language. "It says I caused public concern." Cole folded his arms. "You did." "People filmed me because your officer said stolen vehicle before checking the release." Harlan slid the pen closer. It rolled, bumped the paper, and stopped beside the empty signature line. "Sign, and everyone goes home." Maya did not touch it. "I won't sign something that turns your mistake into my behavior." Cole gave a short laugh. "There it is." "The attitude?" Maya asked. "You keep giving names to my answers." Harlan's chair squeaked. "Do you understand how easily this becomes obstruction?" "For asking you to call the person on the document?" "For refusing a lawful process." "Then write that I refused this wording." Cole reached for the form. "Fine. Non-cooperation." Mills spoke before he took it. "Sergeant, the timeline doesn't match." Both men turned. She tapped the top sheet. "The narrative says she was unable to identify an authorizing party. The body cam note says she named Elaine Brooks." Cole's mouth tightened. "A name doesn't verify." "Then the report should say named, not unable." Harlan gave her a flat look. "Dana, I'm reading what's here." Maya pointed to another line. "It says I was advised of my right to contact a responsible party. You took my phone." "For safekeeping," Cole said. "Then let me use it." "No." Mills looked toward his pocket. "Is it logged?" "It's temporary." "Then it isn't property, and it isn't evidence." The hall quieted. Harlan rubbed the bridge of his nose. "We are not turning this into a seminar." Maya folded the photograph beside the form. Her father's uniform sleeve showed from the crease. "You don't have to turn it into anything," she said. "Just make it true." Cole stepped closer. "You had keys to a car registered to a company you can't prove you represent." "My proof is at the hotel. My phone is in your pocket." Cole's fingers twitched. Harlan stood. "New form, simpler language." He left for the copy room. Cole followed. The door swung shut with a thump. For several seconds, only the air vent moved the corner of an intake sheet. Then Mills said quietly, "If I call Elaine, will she answer?" "She should." "Number?" Maya closed her eyes. 404-618-2911. Mills wrote it on a sticky note and covered it when footsteps passed. At the hotel, Jayden stood in the valet booth. The screenshot sat in an unsent email. Nina had written the address on a cocktail napkin. "Send it," she said. Jayden's thumb shook. "If this costs me my job?" It already cost somebody her name. He pressed send. The blue bar moved. While back at the station, the copied form slid warm from the machine, with the same empty line waiting at the bottom. At 6:58 p.m., the email left Jayden's phone and disappeared into the hotel Wi-Fi. A thin blue bar appeared under the attachment, moving as if it meant to argue. The valet booth smelled of damp wool, rubber mats, and lemon cleaner. "Don't stare at it," Nina said. "I can't not stare." Then breathe and stare. Outside, the yellow car sat under the canopy. Maya's folder was no longer on the hood. Lyle had gathered the papers into a black security envelope, then locked it in his office. Jayden looked toward the lobby. He took the release. Nina's jaw tightened. "Then we get another copy." "How?" "Elaine, and the cameras. Where's Caleb?" "Basement server room." "Call him." "He reports to Lyle. Tonight everybody reports to the truth." At the station, Officer Mills held the sticky note under the desk phone and dialed, while Cole and Harlan spoke in the hall. Maya sat across from the second form. The new paper was warm at the corners. Her father's photograph rested beside her wrist, the crease running through his white glove. A woman answered on the third ring. "Harbor Veterans Foundation, Elaine Brooks speaking." Mills lowered her voice. "Miss Brooks, this is Officer Dana Mills with Harbor Falls PD. Can you confirm Maya Whitaker was authorized to collect a vehicle from the Harbor Grand tonight?" Maya's fingers stopped on the photo. Elaine's voice sharpened. "Where is Maya?" "At the station." "What do you mean at the station?" "I need confirmation first." "You have it. She was sent by me. The vehicle was logged for Foundation photography." Mills glanced toward the hall. "Do you have documentation?" "I have more than documentation. Someone just emailed me a screenshot." Back at the hotel, Caleb Ross reached the valet booth out of breath. He was 26, thin, with a green knit cap and a pen he clicked with each step. "If Lyle finds me here, I'm gone." Nina pointed to the monitor. "Camera 608. Pull it." "I'm not supposed to export without management." Jayden said. "Management called police on a valid ticket." Caleb clicked the pen 3 times. "That sentence is why I'm nervous." "Please," Jayden said. She kept asking them to check. On the screen, Maya took the keys from Jayden. Her ticket was visible. The release folder opened. Lyle's reflection crossed the glass. The pen stopped clicking. "Oh," Caleb said. "Export it," Nina whispered. Another progress window appeared. A second blue bar began. Jayden watched it as if it were a pulse. At the ballroom entrance, Mrs. Albright waited with both hands on her cane. Thomas stood beside her, pale and quiet. "I called Elaine," Helen said, "and I left a message for Marcus's office." Thomas looked at the floor. "Mom?" "No, I was careful when I should have been clear." Nina softened. "Can you say you recognized the family name?" Helen lifted her chin. "I can say I recognized the girl being ignored." The bar reached 92%. The lobby doors hissed open. Lyle came in, eyes moving straight to the booth. "What are you doing?" No one answered. The blue line reached 100. Caleb hit send before Lyle crossed the tile, and Elaine Brooks's phone lit with a video file large enough to change the room it was about to enter. Marcus Whitaker's phone vibrated once on the polished table, then again before the first alert cleared. The meeting room on the Harbor Grand's 3rd floor smelled of coffee, leather chairs, and old curtains. Outside the windows, evening pressed blue against the river. 3 messages waited. Maya: Dad, please answer. Elaine Brooks: urgent. Maya is at Harbor Falls, PD. Authorization attached. Aaron Wells: Sir, I am outside. You need to see this now. Marcus removed his glasses and set them on the valet contract. The lenses covered the word authorized. General? The attorney asked. Marcus lifted one hand. Pause. The room went still. Elaine appeared in the doorway with her phone close to her chest. I have Jaden's screenshot, she said, and Caleb just sent video. Aaron stood behind her with a tablet and a pale face. Marcus looked from one to the other. Where is my daughter? Station, Aaron said. Officer Mills said detained, not booked. Marcus repeated it once. Detained. He opened the video. On the screen, Maya stood at the valet booth in her plain jacket. Jaden scanned the ticket. The yellow car flashed. The release folder opened, and Elaine's signature was visible for 1 clean second. Elaine whispered, I should have walked her out myself. No, but This started when people chose not to read. Aaron raised his phone. Captain Marsh is reachable. City Liaison Paul Mercer, too. Call both. Tell them I am not asking for a favor. Marcus looked at the framed photograph near his folder. Maya at 8, laughing with a missing tooth, one hand clutching his sleeve. He touched the corner of the frame. Tell them a citizen was denied verification after presenting documents, and her phone was taken before she could contact family or the authorizing party. Elaine's mouth tightened. Marcus, the officers may not know who she is. They were not required to know her father. His voice stayed low. They were required to know their job. At the station, Maya sat with the second form before her. The paper had cooled. The pen pointed at the signature line. Cole came back in. Ready to be reasonable? Maya looked past him to Mills. Did Elaine answer? Cole turned. You called? I verified the contact, Mills said. Harlan entered behind him. Officer Mills, outside. The desk phone rang before she moved. Harlan picked up. Sergeant Harlan. Maya saw his fingers tighten around the receiver. Yes, Captain. Cole's expression shifted. Harlan listened. We are still confirming, Harlan said. No, ma'am, she is not booked. He looked at Maya as if her face had only now become attached to the paperwork he had ignored. No, ma'am. I understand. He hung up slowly. Cole lowered his voice. What? Harlan did not answer him. Outside the hotel, Aaron opened the rear door of a black sedan. Marcus stepped in with the contract, the screenshot, and the video. Elaine slid in beside him. Captain Marsh is meeting us there, Aaron said. Streetlights streaked across Marcus's buttons. No press. Sir? No speeches. No threats. We bring proof. The sedan moved from the hotel drive. In Marcus's lap, his phone lit again with Maya's unanswered message, small and bright in the passing light. The station door clicked at 7:14 p.m. It was a small sound, metal catching in the frame, but every conversation in the front room seemed to step back from it. Maya heard it through the half-open door. Officer Mills looked up first. Captain Lydia Marsh entered in a dark coat over her uniform. Paul Mercer came with a tablet. Elaine Brooks followed with a folder pressed to her chest. Then Marcus Whitaker walked in. His uniform caught the fluorescent light. He did not hurry. His eyes found the glass panel, found Maya, and stayed there. Maya did not smile. She sat taller, the old photograph under her palm. Cole stepped from the hall. Can I help you? Marsh answered. Bring every document connected to this detention. Harlan came out holding the second form. Captain, We were resolving a misunderstanding. Marcus looked at the paper. With a signature? Standard release language, Harlan said. Elaine moved forward. Maya was authorized by my office. I sent the ticket and signed the release. Cole said, we couldn't verify that at scene. You didn't call me. We had an active situation. Marcus turned to him. My daughter gave you a name, a phone, a document, and a witness. Cole's jaw tightened. Sir, I didn't know she was your daughter. Marcus's voice stayed even. That is not the problem. Mills touched the report folder. Captain, I called Ms. Brooks. She confirmed authorization. There is a hotel screenshot and video. Marsh looked at Harlan. Why am I hearing that from Officer Mills? Harlan rubbed the folded form. We were evaluating credibility. Whose credibility? Maya asked. Cole turned. You need to remain seated. Marcus's eyes moved to Maya's wrist. The cuff mark looked like a thin red thread. Maya held the photograph against her notebook. I was told to sign something untrue. Marsh crossed to the desk. No one signs anything. Paul opened his tablet. For the record, detained, not booked, property not logged, phone held by Cole? Cole reached into his pocket. Safekeeping. He placed Maya's phone on the desk. It vibrated at once. Dad, the screen said, though he stood 10 feet away. Marcus picked it up and carried it to her. He placed it in her hand instead of keeping it. You came, she said. I answered late. Marsh opened the hotel video. Blue-white light filled the desk. Jaden appeared, scanning the ticket. Maya appeared, receiving keys. Harlan said, Captain, context matters. We had a crowd, an expensive vehicle, conflicting statements. Elaine's voice cracked. There were no conflicting statements. There were ignored statements. Cole stared at the screen as if it had changed language. Marcus stepped nearer, but kept a chair between them. When she asked you to check the release, what prevented you? Cole glanced at Marsh. I made a judgment call. And after dispatch confirmed the car was not reported stolen? I still had concerns. About the car, Marcus said. Or about the girl holding the keys. The air vent clicked on. Paper lifted at the corner of the unsigned form. Harlan set the page down. We can release Ms. Whitaker now. Maya looked at him. Release me from what? Marsh closed the video and said, Sergeant, Officer Cole, conference room, now. The conference room smelled of marker ink and cold coffee. Captain Marsh took the head of the table. Harlan sat on her right, Cole beside him with his hands locked. Marcus stood behind Maya's chair. Elaine placed the folder on the table. A woman in a charcoal blazer entered with a recorder. Renee Caldwell, Internal Affairs. She was 44, with silver glasses on a chain. Speak clearly. Maya rested her phone beside the old photograph. A smudge from Cole's pocket crossed the glass. Paul Mercer connected his tablet. The monitor showed the valet booth and yellow car under white light. Jaden scanned the ticket. Maya stepped forward. The cursor froze where the keys already lay in her open hand. Elaine pointed. That is my release folder. Renee wrote. Authorized handoff visible. The video moved again. Maya showed her ID Lyle waved toward the lobby. Jaden pointed to the log. Pause, Marsh said. The image stopped with Maya's college badge clear against her jacket. Marsh turned to Cole. You saw this? Yes. You wrote she had no reliable identification. Not reliable for vehicle possession. Maya looked at the screen. You said it proved what name I was using. Cole's chair scraped. I don't recall that. Paul tapped the tablet. Body audio. Wind hissed through the speakers. Then Cole's voice came thin and sharp. It proves what name you're using. Harlan lowered his eyes. The audio continued. Maya asking for Elaine Brooks 3 times. Jaden saying the log had her ticket number. Dispatch confirming no stolen report. Then Harlan's voice. We'll continue this at the station. Marsh folded her hands. Sergeant, why move verification away from the documents? The crowd was escalating, Harlan said. The crowd was filming, Renee replied. Different word. I was managing optics. Marcus spoke for the first time. Optics are not citizens. Only the air vent answered. Elaine slid the contract forward. The car was loaned to the foundation. Maya was listed as authorized pickup at 6. Renee read the line. Did you tell them this? Maya said. Yes. Did anyone read the folder? No. Cole leaned forward. She kept moving her hands. Maya turned to him. Because you kept changing where you wanted them. A paper cup near Harlan's elbow trembled. Paul opened the station form. This says Ms. Whitaker failed to identify an authorizing party. Officer Mills stood near the door. That is the line I questioned. Renee looked at Harlan. Who drafted it? Harlan rubbed his thumb along the cup seam. I did. After hearing Elaine Brooks named? I believed more verification was needed. Then why not write that? Cole stared at the frozen monitor. Harlan watched the cursor blink over Maya's hand, holding the keys. Marsh pushed the unsigned form away. Officer Cole, Sergeant Harlan, your incident narrative is suspended pending full review. Officer Mills, take Ms. Whitaker's statement. Renee stopped the recorder. Ms. Whitaker, you may leave when you're ready. Maya picked up the bent photograph and stood slowly. I was ready at the hotel. Cole lowered his eyes, and the monitor still showed the moment before anyone decided not to believe what was already in her hand. By 9:05 the next morning, the yellow car was gone from the hotel entrance, but its reflection remained on every screen in the hearing room. Maya sat beside Marcus. Her returned phone lay near her notebook. The old photograph stayed inside the cover, only the white glove showing. A pitcher of water stood before Sergeant Harlan. Condensation slid down the glass. He did not pour. Miriam Tate entered with a gray folder. She was 59, the civilian review chair, small and neat, with a habit of removing her glasses before hard questions. This is fact-finding, she said, not a rescue of reputations. Miriam turned to Maya. You may speak first, or wait. I'll wait. Jaden Price was called first. His valet jacket was gone. He wore a plain blue shirt and rubbed the place where his name tag should have been. At 6:08, what did you see? I scanned ticket 418. The system showed authorized pickup. Ms. Whitaker had the folder. I gave her the keys. You were nervous? Cole's attorney asked. Yes, Jaden said, because everyone acted like the scan didn't count. Nina Ortiz came next, shoes squeaking on tile. She described Lyle blocking calls, Maya asking for Elaine, guests lifting phones. Did Ms. Whitaker shout? Miriam asked. No. Threaten anyone? No. What did she do? Nina swallowed. She kept offering proof until they made it sound suspicious. Mrs. Helen Albright raised her cane when called. Thomas sat behind her with his hands clasped white. I knew the Whitaker name, Helen said. I should have said it louder. Miriam removed her glasses. Why didn't you? Because my son touched my elbow, and I remembered how rooms punish the person who interrupts them. Thomas lowered his head. Officer Mills placed Cole's report and her notes side by side. The narrative said Ms. Whitaker could not identify an authorizing party, Mills said. That was inaccurate. Harlan touched the water glass. Cole spoke when called. I had an uncertain situation, an expensive vehicle, a crowd, and a subject who refused simple instructions. Maya turned one page. Miriam asked, "Which instruction was simple?" "Keys on the hood. Hands visible. Step back." "And when she followed one, did you change it?" "The scene evolved." Paul Mercer played the body audio. Maya's voice came through under the vent's hum. "Call Elaine Brooks. Check the release. Please let me answer my father." Miriam said, "That is not refusal. That is a request for verification." Cole stared at the table. Harlan's turn came after a break nobody used. The water had warmed. The ice was gone. "You supervised the scene," Miriam said. "Why transport her?" "The crowd was growing. That answer was given yesterday." He rubbed his thumb through the wet ring. "I wanted control." "Control of what?" "The scene. The phones. The story before it became one." Miriam closed the folder. "A citizen is not disorder because others are watching. A document is not unreliable because reading it would slow you down." Harlan nodded once. When the hearing ended, no one clapped. Chairs scraped. Maya slid the photograph deeper into her notebook and stood while the full glass of water remained on the table, clear and untouched, beside Harlan's folded statement. At 4:30 p.m. 2 days later, the city council chamber smelled of damp coats, carpet glue, and burnt coffee. Maya sat at the front table with Marcus and Elaine. Her notebook was open, but she had written one line: "Do not make this only about me." Residents filled the rows. Jaden stood by the wall in a borrowed blazer. Nina leaned beside him. Officer Mills sat near the aisle. Councilwoman Grace Bell, 46, silver hoops flashing when she turned, looked over the agenda. "General Whitaker, Ms. Whitaker, the floor is yours." Marcus turned the proposal so Maya could see it. "You start." Maya touched the paper's edge. "I'm not here to decide anyone's punishment." "What happened to me did not require a complicated mistake," she continued. "It required simple steps to be skipped." Grace Bell leaned forward. "List them. Read the document. Call the named contact. Preserve the video. Let the person make one confirming call. Write the report in words that are true." Rain ticked on the high windows. A man in the second row lifted his hand. "Are you asking for special treatment because of who your father is?" Marcus's jaw tightened. Maya answered, "No, I'm asking for the treatment I should have received before anyone knew who my father was." Captain Marsh stepped to the lectern. "The department will accept evidence review before transport in disputed property calls." Maya turned a page. "Before public accusation. If an officer has time to say stolen vehicle in front of a crowd," Maya said, "there should be a basic check before that word leaves his mouth." Jaden stared at his shoes. Marsh nodded. "We can write that into procedure." Marcus slid the second page forward. "When a business record is involved, officers identify and secure it instead of leaving it to an employee afraid of losing his job." Jaden's face warmed red. Nina whispered, "Breathe." Elaine placed a folder before the clerk. "The foundation will fund dignity-based training if the city publishes attendance and outcomes." A councilman frowned. "Outcomes are hard to measure." Grace Bell looked at him. "So was trust, and we managed to lose it." Maya took a torn sheet from her notebook. Marcus had not seen this page. "One more thing," she said. "When a person is detained over disputed ownership and no safety issue prevents it, they get one confirming call. Not after a form, not after transport. One call to the named contact or family." Marsh folded her hands. "That may slow scenes down." Maya looked at the clock. "Good." Grace Bell smiled. "Put it in." By the end, the clerk pinned a memo to a corkboard. Document check before accusation, contact call, camera preservation, accurate narrative review, civilian oversight. Maya stopped in front of it. The paper curled beside an old schedule. Jaden came up beside her. I should have spoken louder. You saved the log. I hesitated. Maya looked at the memo. So did almost everyone. Mills joined them. Training starts Monday, she said. They asked me to help. Marcus buttoned his coat. Then make it harder for the next person to be ignored. Outside, rain had stopped. City lights trembled in puddles, and the new memo stayed behind glass, holding more weight than it looked built to carry. 3 months later, the Harbor Grand's valet lane had new signs on both posts. Document first, contact second, accusation last. Jaden Price noticed the letters every shift. Lyle Pierce had been moved to inventory after the review, and Jaden now trained new valets to save logs before they faded under spilled drinks. Nina Ortiz came through the side door with 2 paper cups. You still read that sign like it might disappear. Jaden took the coffee. I keep checking that it's real. It's bolted in. So were the old habits. The yellow car turned in from the river road. Maya parked where the cameras could see the lane. Marcus sat beside her with the old photograph in his hand. On the dashboard lay a fresh valet ticket. Jaden scanned it and read the screen out loud. Authorized pickup, verified contact on file. Maya nodded once. Thank you for saying it. The next week, Captain Marsh presented the first public report at City Hall. 38 officers had completed training. Disputed property calls now required a contact attempt before transport, unless a safety issue was written. Body camera footage had to be preserved within 1 hour. A civilian observer reviewed the first 10 cases each month. Officer Dana Mills stood at the back with a worn black binder. When Marsh said Mills would help lead scenario training, several officers turned toward her. Cole's name appeared on page 7. Suspended without street assignment during review, required retraining, final discipline pending. Harlan's name appeared below it, removed from supervisory duty, reassigned to records. No applause followed either line. Marcus closed the report. That matters. Maya looked at the folding chairs. It depends what they do when no one's watching. 2 days later, Thomas Albright came to Maya's apartment door with his coat collar damp from rain. Denise stood behind Maya in the hallway light. Thomas held one envelope. My mother wanted you to have this. Helen's letter named the cane, the elbow, the moment she stepped back, and the exact second she knew silence had become a choice. At the bottom, in blue ink, she had written, Next time I will not wait for permission. Maya folded the letter inside the notebook that had carried her father's photograph. Winter eased into Harbor Falls. The foundation held its veterans' luncheon in a quieter room. Elaine hugged Maya too long and then pretended to fix a table card. Caleb Ross had left the hotel for a city technology job. Nina managed the bar staff and kept the cocktail napkin with Elaine's email framed behind the register. When the luncheon ended, Marcus and Maya walked to the waterfront. The air was cold and clean. Flags snapped above the hotel roof. The yellow car waited nearby, ordinary in the pale afternoon light. Marcus opened the old photograph. The crease still crossed his glove. I hated that this was the picture you held there, he said. Maya took it from him and set it on the dashboard beside the new valet ticket. The ticket did not tremble. It lay flat, printed, verified, no longer pleading to be believed. I was not alone, she said. Marcus looked at her. Maya watched the river move under the bridge. but I should not have needed proof like that. They stood until hotel lights came on behind them, and the windshield caught the sky, the photograph and quiet water in one soft reflection. If this story stayed with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever seen someone judged before anyone checked the truth, or watched a quiet person stand through something they never should have faced alone? Tell us what happened and what you wish someone had done sooner. Share this story with someone who believes dignity should not depend on status, clothes, age, or who stands beside you. Subscribe for more stories about justice, quiet resilience, and the kind of real lasting systemic change that begins when one person refuses to let a false version of events become official.